What would you do if the man you deeply care for started pulling away? Maybe his texts have become less frequent, his warmth feels like a distant memory, and your mind is racing to figure out where things went wrong. It's an emotional storm we've all faced: confusion, panic, and the overwhelming urge to chase him down for answers. But let me stop you right there, because here's the reality. The way you handle this moment has the power to shift everything. Not just your connection with him, but your confidence, your inner strength, and the way you approach relationships moving forward. Here's the truth no one tells you. Chasing him isn't the answer. Acting out of desperation only pushes him further away. Yet, most women fall into this trap, thinking if they just do more or say the right thing, he'll come running back. Sound familiar? But what if I told you there's a different path? A stronger, more empowering one that doesn't just keep your dignity intact, but draws him closer in a way that feels natural and real. It's time to rewrite the rules. In this video, I'll take you through 10 transformative steps to handle his distance with grace and wisdom. These aren't manipulative tricks or shallow advice. They're rooted in authenticity, personal growth, and something I like to call Dark Stoic Psychology, a blend of timeless stoicism and modern emotional mastery. Each step is designed not only to help you navigate his withdrawal, but also to elevate your sense of self-worth. Together, we'll turn what feels like rejection into a moment of undeniable growth and strength. If you've ever felt like you were losing control in your relationships, this is the guide you've been waiting for. By the end of this, you won't just have him noticing you, you'll have yourself noticing the incredible power you hold. Ready to step into your confidence and handle this with poise? Let's start with the first and most important step: respecting his space. 1. Respect his space. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? The man you care about starts pulling away, and everything in you wants to close the gap. You want to call, text, show up, or demand answers. After all, if you don't, won't he just drift further? But here's the paradox. The more you chase, the faster he'll run. And this isn't because he doesn't care. It's because humans, men especially, need space to process their emotions and thoughts. Now, let's be real. Respecting his space doesn't mean you're giving up or letting him off the hook. It means you're acknowledging something crucial. His withdrawal isn't necessarily about you. Sometimes men retreat because they're overwhelmed by emotions they don't fully understand, or situations they haven't shared with you yet. By giving him room, you're sending a powerful message. Think about it. When someone respects your boundaries, doesn't it make you feel valued and safe? That's exactly what you're doing here. You're not only giving him the emotional room he needs, but also demonstrating your own maturity and emotional intelligence. And trust me, this kind of confidence is magnetic. It's part of what makes Dark Stoic Psychology. But respecting his space isn't just about him. It's also about you. Use this time wisely. Focus on centering yourself, regaining composure, and re-establishing the things that make you happy outside of the relationship. Dive into your passions, reconnect with your friends, or even pick up a new hobby. Not only does this help you stay grounded, but it also signals to him, and to yourself, that your world doesn't revolve solely around him. And let's be honest, independence is intoxicating. There's a quiet power in doing nothing, in letting go of the urge to control. As Stoicism reminds us, you cannot control someone else's emotions or decisions, but you can control how you respond. So, when he pulls away, respond with grace. Resist the urge to panic or overanalyze. Trust in your ability to weather this moment without unraveling, because here's the truth. When you hold your ground, you create the space for him to miss you, to reflect on the connection, and to realize what he stands to lose. The key is to stay firm and unwavering in your respect for his boundaries. Silence, after all, is often louder than words. It speaks of your confidence and your refusal to beg for attention. And believe me, this doesn't go unnoticed. He'll feel the absence of your chase. And in that void, curiosity and attraction begin to grow. But let's not stop here. Respecting his space is just the first step in a much larger journey. Are you curious about what comes next? How do you take this newfound calmness and use it to elevate not just your relationship but also your self-worth? Stick with me, because the next step will transform how you see yourself in this dynamic. Let's talk about staying calm and composed when the storm feels like it's closing in. 2. Stay calm and composed. Here's a question for you. When he distances himself, do you feel a knot in your stomach? Do you replay every interaction, every word, every moment, wondering what went wrong? You're not alone. The natural response when someone pulls away is to panic, overthink, and act impulsively. But let me share a secret. Your emotional reaction in this moment is more powerful than you think. How you handle this initial wave of anxiety can shape the entire outcome, not just with him, but within yourself. Let's get honest. Panic is the enemy of connection. When you react out of fear, sending message after message or desperately trying to fix things, you unintentionally communicate insecurity. And insecurity, no matter how well-meaning, is a repellent. So what's the alternative? Calmness, composure, a quiet strength that says, easier said than done, right? After all, how do you stay calm when everything in you feels like it's unraveling? Here's where the wisdom of Dark Stoic Psychology comes into play. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about mastering them. Stoicism teaches us a timeless truth. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In this moment, your reaction is your power. Think of this situation as a test of your inner stability. When you remain calm, you're showing emotional resilience, a quality that's undeniably attractive. Men, whether they realize it or not, are drawn to women who can weather emotional storms without falling apart. Your ability to handle uncertainty with grace isn't just impressive, it's magnetic. So, the next time you feel the urge to send that second or third text, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that acting out of desperation won't bring him closer. Instead, it's time to focus on grounding yourself. Try this. When the anxious thoughts start creeping in, redirect your energy. Go for a walk, journal your feelings, or even engage in a hobby that brings you joy. This isn't avoidance, it's self-care. Here's the beauty of calmness. It creates space. Space for you to reflect, space for him to think, and space for the relationship to breathe. When you're calm, you're not trying to control the situation. You're stepping into a place of confidence, trusting that what's meant to be will unfold. This kind of poise sends a powerful message. I am whole on my own. Now imagine how this looks from his perspective. Instead of being met with frantic texts or emotional outbursts, he feels your steady, composed energy. It stands out. It intrigues him. And most importantly, it makes him realize that you're not just any woman. You're a woman who knows her worth. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on how you've handled similar situations in the past. Were you calm or did panic take over? And how might choosing calmness now change the dynamics of your relationship? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're committed to mastering this first step, like this video and comment number 1 below. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss these insights that transform not just your relationships, but your entire mindset. Trust me, this is just the beginning of a journey that will leave you stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever. Let's move forward to the next step, where you'll discover how respecting his space can amplify your confidence and his attraction. Are you ready? Let's dive deeper. 3. Focus on yourself. Here's a thought to sit with. What if his distance isn't just about him? What if it's an invitation for you to turn inward and reconnect with yourself? Often when someone pulls away, our natural instinct is to pour all our energy into them, fixing, chasing, analyzing. But what if you redirected that energy to the one person who truly deserves it? You. Focusing on yourself during this time isn't just about filling the silence or distracting yourself from the uncertainty. It's about reclaiming your sense of self-worth, reminding yourself that your happiness, fulfillment, and confidence don't depend on him or anyone else. This isn't just self-care, it's a declaration of independence. And independence, as you'll soon see, is intoxicating. Think about it. What drew him to you in the first place? Was it your sense of humor, your ambition, your passion for life? Those qualities didn't vanish just because he pulled back. In fact, this is the perfect moment to reconnect with the version of yourself that shines brightest. Start with what makes you feel alive. Have you been neglecting a hobby you once loved? Dive back into it. Is there a skill you've always wanted to learn? Now is the time. Whether it's painting, dancing, learning a language, or hitting the gym, let your focus shift from him to you. There's a quiet magic in a woman who thrives independently. When you're fully engaged in your own growth, you create a ripple effect. You're not just living, you're flourishing, and that's when something extraordinary happens. He notices. He sees the spark in you, the energy, the vibrance, and he remembers what he's been missing. But here's the real secret. Focusing on yourself isn't about getting his attention. It's about reclaiming your own. When you make personal growth your priority, you stop chasing validation from others. You start living for you. And in doing so, you radiate an undeniable confidence. This confidence, rooted in authenticity, is what makes you irresistible, not just to him, but to anyone who crosses your path. Let me share a perspective inspired by Dark Stoic Psychology. And here's a grounding reminder. His distance is not a reflection of your worth. Whether he comes back or not, your value remains unchanged. By pouring your energy into becoming the best version of yourself, you're not just surviving his withdrawal, you're thriving in its wake. Picture yourself 6 months from now, stronger, more confident, and glowing with the joy of living life on your terms. That's the power of focusing on you. This isn't about proving anything to him or anyone else. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of creating happiness and fulfillment from within. The next time you catch yourself spiraling into thoughts of him, pause and ask yourself, what can I do for me right now? Every moment you spend nurturing your own growth is a step toward reclaiming your balance. So, what's calling to you today? Is it the book you've been meaning to read, the workout you've been putting off, or the creative project you've been dreaming about? Whatever it is, lean into it. Let your journey back to yourself begin here. Because the truth is, when you focus on your growth, you don't just transform your life, you transform the way others see you, including him. And whether or not he returns, you'll know this. You are radiant, powerful, and more than enough. 4. Reflect without overthinking. Let's take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what is really happening here? When someone pulls away, it's natural to spiral into a cycle of overthinking. You replay every conversation, analyze every glance, and second-guess everything you've done or said. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth. Overthinking doesn't bring clarity, it clouds it. Instead of spiraling, what if you chose reflection? Honest, constructive, and calm reflection. Reflection is not about blaming yourself or obsessing over every detail. It's about stepping back and asking the right questions, giving yourself the space to explore the situation with a clear mind. What could have contributed to his withdrawal? Were there subtle shifts in his energy that you missed? Or could this distance have nothing to do with you at all? Sometimes the answers are closer than you think, but only if you approach them with an open mind and a steady heart. Start by considering whether there were any recent conflicts or misunderstandings. Maybe it was a seemingly minor disagreement, a passing comment, or even an unspoken tension that lingered. At the time, it might not have seemed significant, but it's possible that it carried more weight for him than you realized. Reflect on how you handled those moments. Did you listen carefully to his concerns? Did you dismiss something that felt important to him? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about uncovering the truth, no matter how small or uncomfortable it might be. But here's another reality you must embrace. His distance may have nothing to do with you. Life is complex, and people withdraw for countless reasons: stress at work, family issues, personal struggles, or even fears about their own feelings. Sometimes, what feels like rejection is simply someone needing space to process their own chaos. Recognizing this can be liberating. It reminds you that not everything is within your control, and that's okay. This brings us to one of the core principles of Stoicism. Focus only on what you can control, and release what you cannot. You cannot control his emotions, his reactions, or his reasons for pulling away, but you can control how you respond to this situation. By choosing reflection over obsession, you're reclaiming your peace of mind and grounding yourself in emotional strength. Reflection is also an opportunity to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I truly happy in this relationship? Is this dynamic serving my growth and well-being? Sometimes, his distance can highlight cracks in the foundation that you hadn't noticed before. And while this might feel uncomfortable, it's a gift in disguise. It gives you a chance to assess whether you're truly aligned or whether there are deeper issues that need to be addressed. Imagine this moment of reflection as a mirror. It's not just about understanding him, it's about understanding yourself. What patterns do you notice in how you handle distance or conflict? Do you tend to cling tighter, or do you shut down? How might you approach this situation differently now, with the wisdom you're gaining? These insights don't just help you in this relationship, they help you grow in ways that will elevate every connection you have moving forward. Here's the thing. Reflection is a delicate balance. It requires you to be honest with yourself without sinking into self-doubt. It's about uncovering lessons without letting fear take over. To do this effectively, set aside intentional time for introspection. Write in a journal, meditate, or simply sit in stillness and let your thoughts flow without judgment. You might be surprised at what surfaces when you give yourself permission to explore your feelings without trying to fix them immediately. And as you reflect, remember this. Clarity takes time. You don't have to have all the answers right now. The goal isn't to solve the mystery of his distance in one sitting. The goal is to approach the situation with a calm, open heart and a willingness to learn. This patience is not weakness, it's power. It's part of what makes Dark Stoic Psychology so transformative. By embracing the unknown with grace, you create space for truth to emerge naturally. So, take a deep breath and trust in the process. Reflection isn't about figuring everything out all at once. It's about gaining the insights you need to move forward with wisdom, whether that's in this relationship or in the way you approach love altogether. And no matter what you uncover, know this. The act of reflecting, of pausing, questioning, and growing is a testament to your strength. It's what separates those who crumble from those who rise. In the stillness of reflection, you'll find something beautiful, yourself. And from that place of clarity and calm, the next steps, whatever they may be, will feel less like a struggle and more like a natural unfolding. 5. Manage your expectations. When he distances himself, it's easy to let hope take over. You think, maybe if I send the right text, he'll realize how much he misses me. Maybe he'll call, apologize, and everything will go back to normal. And while there's nothing wrong with hoping for the best, there's a critical step you need to take for your own emotional well-being. Manage your expectations. Why? Because pinning your happiness on one specific outcome is like handing your peace of mind to someone else. When you expect him to respond in a certain way, and he doesn't, it feels like rejection, even if that's not his intention. But when you let go of these rigid expectations, you free yourself. You step into a mindset where you're prepared for any outcome, and that's where your power lies. Here's what managing your expectations really means. It's not about giving up on him or resigning yourself to the worst. It's about staying balanced and grounded, no matter what happens. You send a thoughtful, calm message. Great. But instead of anxiously waiting for a reply, you move on with your day. You're open to a positive response, but you're not dependent on it. This subtle shift in mindset changes everything. Think of it this way. When you attach yourself to a specific result, his return, his affection, or his validation, you're giving him control over your emotional state. And that's a dangerous place to be. Managing your expectations allows you to reclaim that control. You remind yourself that your happiness doesn't hinge on his actions, but on how you choose to respond. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what we can control and release what we cannot. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot control when, or if, he reaches out. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and how you show up for yourself in the meantime. Let's get practical. After sending a calm, composed message, resist the urge to check your phone every 5 minutes. Instead, redirect your energy. Pour yourself into something meaningful, a workout, a creative project, or a catch-up session with friends. By doing this, you're not just distracting yourself, you're proving to yourself that your life doesn't stop just because he's distant. And here's the beautiful irony. When you release the need for a specific outcome, you become infinitely more attractive. Your calm detachment sends a powerful message. I want you, but I don't need you to complete me. This isn't about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about truly embodying your worth, whether he comes back or not. Now, let's talk about the other side of managing expectations, being prepared for any outcome. Maybe he responds with a heartfelt message, and the two of you reconnect beautifully. Maybe he stays distant, and the relationship drifts apart. Either way, you're ready. You're not shattered by his choices, because you've built your emotional resilience from within. This readiness is part of the transformative power of Dark Stoic Psychology. It's not just about staying calm in the moment, it's about cultivating a mindset that serves you in every area of life. When you practice managing your expectations here, you're developing a skill that will empower you in future relationships, friendships, and even professional challenges. So, how do you know you're managing your expectations well? Here's a quick test. Are you able to send that message or initiate that conversation without spiraling into what-ifs afterward? If the answer is no, that's okay, it's something to work toward. But if the answer is yes, give yourself credit. That's emotional strength in action. Take a moment to reflect on how this resonates with you. Have you ever felt trapped by your own expectations in a relationship? How did it affect your ability to stay calm and present? If you're ready to reclaim your peace of mind and approach this situation with confidence, I'd love to hear from you. Like this video and comment number 1 below if this step resonates with you. It's your way of committing to this journey of growth. And don't forget to subscribe for more empowering insights that not only transform your relationships, but also elevate your entire mindset. You're building something incredible here, and we're just getting started. Next, we'll explore why playing games will never get you the connection you truly want, and what to do instead. 6. Communicate assertively, not desperately. There's a moment in every relationship where you feel the need to reach out, to bridge the silence, to ask the questions burning in your mind. But how you communicate in that moment can make all the difference. This is where many people stumble, reaching out from a place of desperation, flooding their partner with emotional messages, or demanding immediate answers. It's understandable. When you're unsure of where you stand, the desire for clarity can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth. Desperation will never get you the connection you're looking for. Assertiveness will. So, what does it mean to communicate assertively? It means approaching the conversation with calmness, clarity, and confidence. It's not about hiding your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about showing that you value yourself enough to express your thoughts without losing your composure. Desperation, on the other hand, stems from insecurity. It's the frantic need to hear from him, to fix things immediately, to cling to a sense of control. But when you send messages from this emotional space, it shows. It can feel overwhelming to him, and instead of bringing him closer, it often drives him further away. Assertive communication flips the script. It allows you to express your feelings and intentions with dignity and respect, both for yourself and for him. Picture this scenario. You haven't heard from him in days. The silence is eating at you, and you feel the urge to send multiple texts. Why aren't you answering? Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? While these questions might seem harmless, they come from a place of panic, and the tone they carry can feel heavy. Instead, consider this alternative. Hey, I noticed you've been distant lately. I hope everything is okay. I'm here if you want to talk. This approach communicates two things: that you care, and that you're giving him the space to respond on his own terms. Notice the difference. The first set of messages is driven by fear, seeking immediate reassurance. The second is calm and considerate, leaving room for a thoughtful response. It's a subtle but powerful shift that shows you're grounded in your own emotional strength. And here's the beauty of assertive communication. It doesn't require a specific outcome to validate its worth. Whether he responds positively, negatively, or not at all, you've expressed yourself with integrity. Assertive communication also means knowing when to stop. Once you've reached out, resist the urge to follow up repeatedly. Give him the space to process and decide how he wants to engage. Over-communicating can feel like pressure, and pressure is rarely received well. By stepping back, you show that you're confident enough to let things unfold naturally. This approach is deeply aligned with the principles of Stoicism. As Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When the time comes for a conversation, prioritize listening over speaking. Instead of trying to steer the dialogue or seek validation, focus on understanding his perspective. Ask questions with genuine curiosity, and let his answers guide the flow of the conversation. It's also important to set healthy boundaries for yourself. Assertive communication doesn't mean bending over backward to accommodate his every need. It's about striking a balance between expressing care and maintaining your self-respect. For example, if he responds dismissively or tries to deflect the conversation, don't force it. You can calmly say, "I'm here to talk when you're ready, but I won't push." This kind of boundary setting reinforces your emotional independence. Another key aspect of assertive communication is timing. If you reach out while feeling emotional or reactive, it's easy for the conversation to take a wrong turn. Instead, wait until you feel calm and centered. Take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, and approach the situation with a clear mind. This way, your message comes across as thoughtful rather than impulsive. And remember, assertiveness isn't just about how you communicate with him. It's about how you communicate with yourself. Check in with your inner dialogue. Are you speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement? Or are you letting fear and doubt take over? When you build confidence within, it naturally reflects in your interactions. In the end, assertive communication is about creating a space for honesty and connection without losing sight of your own worth. It's not about controlling the outcome or demanding a resolution on your timeline. It's about showing up authentically, expressing your feelings with clarity, and allowing the relationship to evolve naturally. By choosing assertiveness over desperation, you not only strengthen your connection with him, but also deepen your sense of self-respect. And no matter how the situation unfolds, you'll know you handled it with grace and integrity. This kind of emotional maturity doesn't just change relationships, it transforms the way you show up in every area of your life. 7. Avoid playing games. When he pulls away, it's tempting to respond with tactics designed to provoke a reaction. You might think, if I make him jealous, he'll realize what he's missing. If I ignore him back, he'll come running. These strategies feel like a quick fix to regain control, but let's be honest, do they ever really work? Manipulation might get you attention in the short term, but it won't build the lasting, genuine connection you truly want. Playing games often stems from a place of insecurity, a desire to reclaim power in a situation where you feel powerless. But here's the truth. Real power doesn't come from tricks or mind games. It comes from authenticity. When you stay true to yourself and refuse to stoop to manipulative tactics, you're not just protecting the relationship, you're protecting your self-worth. Imagine this. He sees a post of you with another man, or he notices you haven't reached out in days. On the surface, this might pique his curiosity or even trigger a pang of jealousy. But what happens next? If your actions feel calculated or insincere, he'll sense it. Trust me, people are more perceptive than we give them credit for. And once he realizes you're playing games, the foundation of trust begins to erode. So, what should you do instead? The answer lies in the principles of Dark Stoic Psychology. Hold your ground with confidence and authenticity. Instead of trying to control his reaction, focus on showing up as the best version of yourself. If you're genuinely busy, enjoying time with friends or pursuing your passions, let that shine naturally. Post about your life, share your happiness, but only if it's real, not as a tool to provoke him. Here's the magic of authenticity. It doesn't need to be forced. When you're truly living your best life, people can feel it. Your energy shifts. You radiate confidence, independence, and joy. This kind of vibe is infinitely more attractive than any game you could play, because it's rooted in truth. And truth has a way of drawing people in. Let's address another common tactic, ignoring him back. On the surface, it seems logical. If he's not texting me, I won't text him. If he's distant, I'll be distant too. But this tit-for-tat approach often creates more distance. Instead of fostering connection, it builds walls. Relationships thrive on mutual respect and open communication, not on silent battles of will. Instead of ignoring him, choose calm detachment. There's a difference. Ignoring him implies a game, a move designed to provoke a response. Calm detachment, on the other hand, is about accepting the situation without forcing it. It's saying, I notice your distance, but I won't let it disrupt my peace or define my worth. This mindset not only protects your emotional health, but also communicates a quiet strength that's incredibly appealing. The same principle applies to jealousy. Trying to spark jealousy might get his attention, but at what cost? Jealousy creates tension, mistrust, and often unnecessary drama. When you prioritize authenticity over games, you create a foundation of respect and security. He sees that you're not trying to manipulate him or the situation, you're simply being yourself. And that's a rare and powerful thing. Marcus Aurelius, a guiding voice in Stoicism, once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." While this isn't about viewing him as an adversary, the wisdom applies. Instead of mirroring his behavior or reacting out of spite, rise above. Choose integrity over tactics. Let your actions reflect the kind of relationship you want to build, one based on trust, openness, and mutual respect. By avoiding games, you're not just setting a higher standard for the relationship, you're setting a higher standard for yourself. You're showing that you don't need to manipulate or scheme to be valued. You're demonstrating that your confidence and authenticity are more than enough to command attention and respect. So the next time you feel the urge to post that strategically angled photo or send that accidental text, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting from a place of strength, or am I trying to control the situation? When you choose authenticity over games, you don't just protect your relationship, you protect your peace. And that, in the end, is what truly matters. 8. Create emotional safety. When he finally reaches out, the way you handle the conversation can either draw him closer or push him further away. This moment is a delicate one, and it requires a calm, open heart and a sense of emotional safety. What does that mean? It means creating a space where he feels free to express himself without fear of judgment, anger, or unnecessary pressure. It's not about excusing his behavior or ignoring your feelings. It's about setting the tone for real connection. Think about this. When was the last time you felt truly heard, without interruption or judgment? How freeing was it to speak your mind, knowing that the person on the other side wasn't waiting to pounce with criticism? That's the kind of environment you want to create for him. Emotional safety isn't about letting him off the hook. It's about inviting honesty and vulnerability into the conversation. Now, let's dive deeper into what this looks like in action. When he finally reaches out, it's natural to want answers right away. You might be tempted to ask, "Why did you ignore me?" Or "What's going on?" But questions like these, especially when delivered with frustration, can make him feel cornered. Instead, approach the conversation with curiosity and empathy. Try something like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been distant lately. How are you feeling?" This small shift in language opens the door for him to share without feeling attacked. Listening is another cornerstone of emotional safety. And I mean really listening, not just to his words, but to the emotions behind them. When he talks, resist the urge to interrupt, defend yourself, or jump to conclusions. Instead, focus on understanding where he's coming from. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything he says, but it shows that you respect his perspective. Respect is the foundation of any meaningful connection. Creating emotional safety also means being aware of your own energy. If you come into the conversation feeling angry, hurt, or impatient, that energy will seep into your words and tone. Take the time to center yourself beforehand. Breathe deeply. Remind yourself of your goal, building connection, not confrontation, and step into the dialogue with calm confidence. Here's another powerful tip. Validate his feelings, even if you don't fully understand or agree with them. Phrases like, "I can see why you might feel that way," or "Thank you for sharing that with me," go a long way in making him feel understood. When he feels safe to express his emotions, he's more likely to open up about what's really going on. And that's where healing begins. But let's not forget about your own emotional safety. This isn't about prioritizing his feelings over yours. It's about creating a balanced space where both of you feel valued and heard. If he says something that hurts you or triggers a strong reaction, it's okay to pause and gather your thoughts. You can calmly say, "I need a moment to process that," instead of reacting impulsively. This not only protects your peace, but also shows him that you're committed to handling the situation with maturity. As we've explored in Dark Stoic Psychology, emotional safety isn't about avoiding difficult conversations. It's about navigating them with grace and authenticity. It's the ability to stay grounded in your own strength while inviting vulnerability from others. When you master this balance, you create a space that feels secure, even in the midst of uncertainty. So, what happens when he feels safe with you? Trust deepens. The walls he's built around his emotions begin to lower, and real connection becomes possible. He sees that you're not just someone who reacts impulsively or demands answers. You're someone who can hold space for complexity and nuance. And that's the kind of person people want to stay close to. Take a moment to reflect on how you've handled tough conversations in the past. Were you able to create emotional safety, or did frustration and hurt take over? If this step resonates with you, and you're ready to bring more calmness and compassion into your interactions, I'd love to hear from you. Like this video and comment number 1 below to commit to this journey of building trust and connection. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights on transforming not just your relationships, but your entire emotional mindset. This is your moment to grow, to strengthen your connections, and to step into the version of yourself that handles these moments with wisdom and grace. Let's continue this journey together, one empowering step at a time. Next, we'll explore how focusing on the bigger picture can give you the clarity and strength you need to navigate the ups and downs of love. 9. Focus on the bigger picture. When you're in the thick of emotional turmoil, it's easy to lose perspective. His distance can feel like the defining moment of your relationship, a crisis that demands immediate resolution. But here's the truth. No single moment, no matter how intense, defines the entire journey. This is where focusing on the bigger picture becomes your guiding light, helping you navigate the storm with clarity and strength. Take a step back and ask yourself, is this temporary distance part of a larger pattern, or is it an isolated moment? Has he consistently shown care and commitment, or have there been recurring signs of withdrawal? Answering these questions requires you to zoom out and view the relationship as a whole, rather than getting stuck in the details of this one situation. Focusing on the bigger picture is not about dismissing your feelings or minimizing his actions. It's about gaining perspective. Relationships, like life itself, are a series of ebbs and flows. There are moments of deep connection and moments of distance. What matters is the overall trajectory. Are you growing together, or are you drifting apart? The answer lies in the patterns, not the one-off instances. This approach aligns beautifully with the teachings of Stoicism. One of its core principles is the ability to step back from immediate emotions and consider the long-term view. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. The way you perceive this moment of distance might feel like a crisis now, but when viewed through the lens of time, it may simply be a bump on the road. Let's explore what this looks like in action. Imagine you've been dating for several months. Things were great at first, but now he's pulling away. Instead of panicking or jumping to conclusions, reflect on the foundation of your relationship. What brought you together? Are those qualities still present? If not, is it something you both can work on? Or has the connection shifted irreparably? Focusing on the bigger picture helps you move beyond reactionary thinking and toward thoughtful evaluation. This broader perspective also gives you the emotional stability to make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear. If his withdrawal is a sign of deeper incompatibility, focusing on the bigger picture allows you to accept that reality without clinging to a relationship that no longer serves you. On the other hand, if this is just a momentary phase, seeing the larger context can help you remain patient and grounded as things work themselves out. Another key aspect of focusing on the bigger picture is recognizing your own growth within the relationship. Every connection, whether it lasts a lifetime or just a season, teaches us something about ourselves. What have you learned about your needs, boundaries, and communication style through this experience? How has this relationship helped you grow, even in moments of difficulty? By shifting your focus from solely analyzing his behavior to reflecting on your personal journey, you reclaim your sense of agency. This moment of distance, as uncomfortable as it may feel, is also an opportunity to evaluate the relationship's alignment with your long-term vision. Does this connection bring out the best in you? Do you feel supported, valued, and understood? Sometimes, stepping back to see the bigger picture reveals truths which are easy to overlook in the heat of the moment. Focusing on the bigger picture doesn't mean ignoring the present. It means placing the present in its proper context. When you zoom out, the immediate frustration or anxiety becomes a smaller piece of a much larger puzzle. And with that perspective, you can approach the situation with wisdom, patience, and emotional balance. In the end, the bigger picture isn't just about the relationship, it's about you. It's about your ability to grow through challenges, to maintain your sense of self-worth, and to honor your needs and values. When you focus on the broader scope of your journey, you not only gain clarity about the relationship but also strengthen your connection to yourself. And that, above all, is the foundation for any meaningful connection. 10. Be ready to move forward. Here's the hardest truth to accept. Not every relationship is meant to last. Sometimes, no matter how much you care, how patient you are, or how perfectly you navigate the ups and downs, the connection may still falter. And while that realization can feel devastating, it's also a moment of profound opportunity, an opportunity to choose yourself and embrace the next chapter with resilience and grace. Being ready to move forward doesn't mean you've given up on him or the relationship. It means you've grounded yourself in the knowledge that your happiness, your worth, and your future are not dependent on his choices. It's a mindset of independence, one that allows you to let go of what you cannot control and focus on what you can, your own growth and well-being. This step begins with acceptance. Accept the uncertainty of the situation. Maybe he'll return, and maybe he won't. Either way, your life continues, and not just continues, it flourishes. The pain of letting go, whether of expectations or of the relationship itself, is temporary. But the growth, wisdom, and strength you gain from this process, those are yours forever. Think about it. Every experience, even the ones that hurt, shapes you. They teach you what you need, what you deserve, and how to love yourself more fully. If this connection comes to an end, it doesn't mean you failed. It means the relationship served its purpose, whether that purpose was love, learning, or both. This is the philosophy of Dark Stoic Psychology, to see every moment, even the challenging ones, as a chance to become wiser and stronger. Moving forward is not about forgetting him or pretending the relationship didn't matter. It's about honoring what you shared while choosing to prioritize your future over your past. This means reflecting on the lessons you've learned and carrying them with you as you step into new opportunities. Ask yourself, what did this relationship teach me about myself? How can I use these insights to grow? The key to moving forward with grace is to cultivate gratitude, not for the pain, but for the growth it inspired. Gratitude helps you shift your perspective from loss to gain. It allows you to look back on the relationship with compassion rather than bitterness. Even if things didn't end the way you hoped, there's always something valuable to take away. Another part of being ready to move forward is embracing the unknown. When one chapter closes, another begins. This might be the perfect time to focus on personal goals you've been putting off, explore new passions, or deepen your connections with friends and family. Instead of seeing his distance as an ending, view it as a doorway to new possibilities. This doesn't mean the process will be easy. Letting go of someone you care about is one of the hardest things to do. But as Stoicism reminds us, true strength comes from within. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you shift your focus from what you've lost to what you're gaining, you take back control of your narrative. One powerful way to embody this mindset is to visualize your future self. Picture the version of you who has moved past this moment, confident, joyful, and thriving. What does she look like? What is she doing? How does she carry herself? Use this vision as your guide. Every step you take toward her is a step away from the pain and uncertainty of the present. Finally, remember this. Moving forward doesn't mean you stop caring about him. It means you care enough about yourself to let go of what no longer serves you. It's a declaration that your happiness is non-negotiable and that you deserve a love that meets you where you are, without hesitation or withdrawal. As this journey comes full circle, reflect on everything we've covered. From respecting his space to focusing on yourself, from avoiding games to creating emotional safety, every step has been about cultivating strength, wisdom, and authenticity. And now, As you prepare to move forward, you're stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. If he comes back, you'll greet him with clarity and confidence, knowing your worth. And if he doesn't, you'll continue on your path with the knowledge that you are more than enough. Either way, you win, because you've chosen to honor yourself every step of the way. This isn't just the end of one chapter, it's the beginning of something extraordinary. Embrace it. The best is yet to come. As we wrap up this powerful journey, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the incredible strides you've made just by exploring these 10 steps. Each one has been crafted not only to help you navigate the distance in your relationship, but to empower you to rediscover your strength, your worth, and your undeniable radiance. This isn't just about winning someone back, it's about winning back yourself. When he distances himself and ignores you, it's easy to feel powerless, like you're at the mercy of his choices. But you're not. Through Dark Stoic Psychology, you've learned how to transform uncertainty into clarity, fear into confidence, and reaction into purpose. You've shifted the focus from him to you, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your journey and sets the tone for the kind of love you truly deserve. Remember this, you cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you show up in the world. And every step you take, from respecting his space to focusing on your own growth, from communicating assertively to being ready to move forward, is a step toward the most powerful, authentic version of yourself. Relationships are not linear. They are dynamic, filled with highs, lows, and moments of reflection. Whether this chapter leads to reconciliation or closure, you are equipped to handle it with grace, wisdom, and strength. You've done the work. And no matter what happens, you've already grown in ways that will enrich your future connections. So, what's next? Take these lessons, embody them, and let them guide you, not just in this relationship, but in every area of your life. Because the woman you're becoming through this process is unstoppable. She is magnetic, confident, and deeply in tune with her worth. That's the energy you carry forward, and that's the energy that changes everything. Before we part ways, I want to hear from you. What resonated with you the most in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know how you're applying these steps to your life. If this journey has inspired you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another empowering insight. Thank you for trusting me to guide you through this. Together, we're not just navigating relationships, we're transforming the way we see ourselves and the love we deserve. Until next time, remember, every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and the best is always yet to come. You've got this, keep shining.